The Giants, with this, falling out of that top overall spot in next year's draft. Wow. I mean, you can't convince professional football players to lose a football game.
Not gonna happen.
This I maintain. Everybody's playing for a job. Everybody's playing for a win. And the Giants get their third of the season. Drew Lock, the third player in franchise history with 300+, 4 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown in a game. A bit of history for the Giants here on Sunday. Mac, what was that? I mean, both
That's
sides.
the NFL.
What was that? I know our
17.
eyes immediately go to New York and what they were capable of offensively, but my questions first surround Indianapolis. You have a chance to make the playoffs.
No.
If the Broncos lose to the Chiefs in Week 18 and you win out, you are the 7 seed, Indianapolis. And they bring this sort of effort to the table against the team, not trying to lose, but looking for losses.
No question. No question. And to your point, not necessarily trying to lose, but clearly they've been a losing team for weeks now. So for Shane Steichen and his staff, this has been the most disappointing loss the entire season, because the only thing that was standing in your way and keeping your playoff hopes alive was the worst team in the National Football League, starting Drew Lock and a bunch of who's of who, to say the least. Most of the players for the Giants are just trying to get to the offseason without having a thigh contusion or a knee contusion that they have to nurse the first 2 months of the offseason, and they can't really enjoy their vacation. Meaning they just want to get out of this game healthy and put forth a effort to be able to win. You had everything in front of you in terms of what you needed to play for. Playoff hopes. And this is the reason why you're going to be at home. Your season, mathematically speaking, is now over in terms of playoff aspirations. And it came from the hands of Drew Lock and the New York Football Giants that scored 40+ points against you in a win or a go-home scenario. The highest point total for the New York Giants this season was 29 points.
45? Most points in a game since 2015.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's Drew Lock leading the way. Again, the context of this one against a team playing for their playoff lives. Now, scratch the Colts off.
Let's talk about the Giants.
7 seed will either be the Broncos if they can win Week 18, or Cincinnati.
Or Miami.
Or Miami, as we sit here after the 1P window. After the 1P window, looking at that draft order, the Giants drop not to 2, but to 3. The order now goes New England, Tennessee, New York. Things have changed, and things can change again in Week 18. But if you're the Giants and if you're Brian Daboll, what did today mean in the grand scheme of things?
You want to win. You coach to win. For Brian Daboll, I understand in terms of outside noise. He's not listening to the elevator music. His job is to put forth the best team on the football field that gives them the best chance to win. I understand when you talk about draft aspirations, this is not the NBA. In the NFL, players are not trying to tank. Coaches are not trying to tank. They're trying to win. And even if you feel like the win is meaningless, to them it means something. So Brian Daboll can care less about the 2025 draft order. He is trying to win. Not only win this week, but win next week. But for the Giants fans, they can care less about anything I just said, because they feel like, you know what? You had the month of September to win, October, November, and early December. You lost in those said situations, so why are you trying to win now? Well, that's the life in the National Football League. But also, too, we must console the Giants fans, because when you want your team to win, they don't win. When you want your team to lose, they don't lose. So they have been, they've been around so much disappointment, from the physical to the mental, for them to be in a position right now to be standing over a toilet, letting it all out because they feel sick because of what happened today. And I don't want to throw more dirt on the disappointment for the Giants fans. But guess what? Week 18, depending on what happens with Detroit or Green Bay, Minnesota, the Eagles might not have anything to play for. So if you're Nick Sirianni, you probably won't see Jalen Hurts. You probably won't see Two-Glove Kenny. You probably won't see Saquon Barkley. You probably will see Tanner McKee. Yes, he came in the game, threw 2 touchdowns. Great game today for him. But if he doesn't have the luxury of throwing to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, ooh, New York Giants, you might win Week 18 as well.
McKee, Gainwell, Calcaterra, enough to take care of the Giants? I just don't know what to expect of the New York Football Giants.
All I'm saying is,
you said it perfectly. When you want to lose, you can't lose. When you want to win, you can't win.
And so that's why I feel like next week, not to give you guys a prediction, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Giants fans really, kick more dirt on their fans and probably win another game where they drop further in the draft and not in an ideal position to get that franchise quarterback they need so much. So for the Giants fans, unfortunately, you have been immune to disappointment by now. You should be. And it's just been the situation for the entire season. They don't win when you want them to win. They don't lose when you want them to lose. So what can you cheer for now?
We can cheer for points. 5 teams have scored 40-plus this week already, tied for the most in a single week in NFL history. I just didn't have the Giants 45. On my bingo card there, 40-plus.
I didn't either.
Why? This man, Drew Lock.
Yeah.
I mean, fire up the Jeezy in the locker room.
Listen, for any fantasy owner that needed a quarterback to fight for in championship
a stream
weekend,
start?
if you had the guts to start Drew Lock, please let us know. Hit us up somehow, CBS HQ, and show us that you actually started Drew Lock because you had no one else to start, and you were just praying for anything, and he delivered.
Because what, 5 total here in a game? Woo! Only the 3rd time in franchise history. The Drew Lock Day.
Drew Lock Day.
Not soon to be forgotten.